All right, let's call this meeting to order. This is a special called meeting of the Doraville City Council being held Monday, March 30th, 2026 at 6 p.m. I'd like to start by reminding everyone that Doraville is proud to be a city of civility. While differences of opinion are natural, let us approach each other with open minds, speak with courtesy, and treat one another with dignity and respect. Respect is the foundation of good governance, and we thank you for upholding the spirit of civility with us. I'll call the roll. Councilmember Ray, are you on? Okay. Councilmember Nasser?
Here.
Councilmember Simmons?
Here.
Councilmember Henshaw?
Here.
Councilmember Evans?
Here.
Councilmember Armistead?
Here.
And Mayor Geierman, I'm here, so we have a quorum. I'd like to ask everyone in the room to please rise and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Would anyone like to make a motion to approve tonight's meeting agenda?
So moved.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. All right. So I'm going to ask our city manager, Chuck Atkinson, to come up and present the next two items.
Sorry about that. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Our first item is an amendment to our contract that we have with Choate for the construction of our city center project. As you know, we went out for bid, and Choate was awarded the construction services. And they have been on the project doing the demolition and now we're to the point where we're ready to begin site work. They have come back to us with an amendment to our contract that will be an amendment to the initial contract and provides a guaranteed maximum price of $9,379,883. That is the maximum price that it will be. Our construction manager is continuing to look into this amendment, but it will not exceed that amount. So what we would like is for council to authorize this amendment. This is part of the grand overall scheme, overall package. We don't have the full package of the guaranteed maximum pricing yet. We look to have that soon this week. And we'll touch on that in our next item. But this is an amendment for the site work. It's the horizontal from the ground, and it actually includes a little bit more than that. It's from the dirt below, but it does include some concrete and some other things that are above ground. So in the packet, you had a copy of the amendment, and we can go over it if there's anything that you need to go over. Gary is here, and he can probably tell you a little bit more than I can.
Okay, Gary?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. As we all know, the budget for the project for the building and the infrastructure is $32 million. At this point, we have I call it a hard bid, a GMP pricing on the site work, the utilities, some construction, the stormwater facility. These numbers do not fluctuate much from the previous round of pricing. The real rubber meets the road on the pricing will come on the vertical. What we're seeking is approval on this GMP amendment from Choate. It's $9,379,000 to move forward with the site work in this horizontal effort. We do have the construction management group, DC of Georgia, looking at the numbers just to double check, but to put some perspective on it, we're within about $22,000 of the previous pricing. So it's well inside a range. There's some extra work on this site work, that foundation walls that would ultimately be attributed to the construction, the vertical construction. But for the most part, this is in line with everything we've been targeting. We should have hard pricing on the vertical elements of the project within the next few days, if not as early as tomorrow, so we can come back and talk about that. But at this point, we need to release them. We'd like to recommend approval on the amendment, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
And the reason to do this now versus waiting for the complete package is really so they can get moving on the actual site work. Pretty much.
The
you
goal
know,
is to get them
yeah.
back on site. We'll have a window of time while the site work's happening to lock down all the information necessary on the vertical development. And at the same time, when I think it's the next piece on the agenda, we'll be coming back to talk about the vertical elements if we need to value engineer that. But to your point, Mayor, dovetailing into the timing, this is the time to do this, or we have further delays
Yeah.
on their side.
We don't want to waste any time while we're finishing identifying what needs to happen in the actual building, right?
Correct. And as we shared with you last week, we do have the land disturbance permit, so we're ready to go, subject to your approval.
Okay. Councilmember Ray, have you joined us? Okay. Councilmember Simmons, do you have anything?
Thanks, Mayor. No, mine was just wondering where it sat with our budget and where we initially started. And I know you said it was 22,000 compared to what the previous number was. And I guess we based our budget off that previous number when we awarded them the contract in a sense.
Correct.
Okay.
When we came up with the master budget, these numbers were in there. And please understand that this includes general conditions, other elements that get pulled into the contract cost, not just the actual physical vendor information to get the equipment on site.
And just to mention it, just since I've seen it happen before, any unforeseens will be change orders not included in the GMP, just for people to know and understand, correct? Just so they hear that.
So this is the point in the project where you hope that nothing changes, but if things do, we will certainly be coming back at the request of the
It's per-
contractor.
And it's per the geotechnical engineer report and everything they see that they had to bid and put that $9 million, $9,379,000 price on it. Everything unforeseen will come back with a approval from us or whoever it is. So
To
just
go above this number,
want to make sure the
Back to talk
process
to
is.
you about-
Council will have to approve any changes to the number.
No, I'm fine with it standard. So yeah.
Councilmember Nasser?
Well, I had the same question. I just want to make sure, you said, so basically it's increased from 22 million to 32 million now?
no.
No, what is that?
Project's always been a total all-in as a budget of $32 million
Okay.
for the construction, for the general contractor's
Okay,
effort, which includes not just the subcontractors and the materials, but the overhead that goes with it. The budget is not increasing. We did not increase the budget at all. And we believe that we're well within range of the budget to seek this approval. There's really very little, if anything, that you can cut out at this stage of a project when you're moving dirt. This is not where the value engineering will really come into play. We do anticipate coming back when we have the firm pricing on the vertical construction of the building and the interiors, if need be.
okay. I have another question. I was asked by the residents also about the community pool. It is included, right?
No, Chief, I don't know. That's separate because that's like a completely different project. And council has set aside separate funds for that, but Gary's not involved in it. And I don't think we have approved a plan related to that. There was a plan that came up last year, like some different options related to what to do in Honeysuckle Park. But council hasn't made a final.
I understand that Los Design, and Crystal was working on that before she left, and I don't believe we have gotten the final plans for that yet.
Because I asked by several of our residents about this. They said, okay, we are doing this, we are doing that. So what happens to our community pool? Why, we need it going while we're going, doing all the construction together. It'd be a lot easier and faster.
The plans that I've seen, and obviously it would, be back before y'all. It would be moved to Honeysuckle Park,
Okay.
according to the plans that I saw.
It's not going to be in the downtown.
No, it won't be in the downtown area.
Okay. I mean, I'm just trying to clarify things for residents who are asking questions. I'm sure they are listening, or whoever wants to listen in the future, so we have it on the record. I appreciate it. I have no further question. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Councilmember Henshaw.
Yeah, I mean, given the massively fluctuating rates of labor and fuel pricing alone, the $22,000 shift is incredibly minor. So that's good. Is there a minimum every time they come back with a change order? Is council going to have to approve every single change order? Or is there a $5,000 here, $8,000 there? Is there a threshold that we can authorize for, I'd hate to have to call weekly emergency sessions to do approvals. I just want to make sure this process moves smoothly as we move ahead.
We had established additional authority for the project of $100,000 previously for Mr. Eldridge. If it was budgeted right now, the budgeted number on this is 9379. So that moves this forward. If anything comes in that pushes it above this budgeted number, it will have to come back to you on it. So as we go forward down the road, I think this is basically one package, all site work. I think when you get into the vertical site package and there will be multiple subcontractors coming in, et cetera, at that point, we'll have an approved budget and there would be probably some authority you would.
But in the pre-budget, there's going to be contingency. And I would think there would be some, city manager would have some authorization
Right now.
to do, small contingency. However, if it's going to change the budget number, then I think council needs to.
There should be less unknowns though during the vertical construction than there are during the groundwork. I mean, most of the unknowns are what we can't see, whereas the buildings themselves are known quantities. So
I think if we find an unknown in the ground, that'll probably.
that's my biggest concern.
Right now, the authority in the city manager is $100,000. And if there's something in a contingency, he'll have authority up to $100,000 to make that determination on the fly with that same authority carrying the
Yeah,
process.
I would think council has got to have to weigh in on anything over, if it pushes it over budget, but I hope that whatever, I can't imagine we're going to have a contract that, or a budget that doesn't have a contingency number, because.
Yeah. Well, this is a GMP, so especially with the vertical, it's once you locked in, you're locked in. But again, there's a lot less unknowns with vertical construction than there are groundwork. So I just want to make sure that we're not here every other day. I'll happy to do it, but it's not going to be fun if we have to delay every single decision.
I just want to confirm what Mayor brought up. There will be a contingency at this part of the contract, far less than before, because as you properly noted, we have better visibility on the vertical side.
Okay. All right. That's great. I think that would be my only question, but and thank you for getting the LDPs pushed through. I know that was challenging.
Thank you. Councilmember Evans.
Yeah. With this being potentially approved today, what's the time frame would you say to go out there and get started with moving dirt?
So the promise from Chode is within 2 weeks, they can have the team back on site. So as we look at it today, we're going to mid-April. And we'll see quite a few trucks out there to move a lot of dirt around. Starts with the demo of the pads that were beneath the buildings. That demo needed a land disturbance permit to take those concrete pads out. Once those are out, we'll begin the moving of dirt. It's going to be a very exciting time as we haul a tremendous amount of dirt from one side of Park Avenue to the other.
Gotcha. Not saying that just reflect cost difference or anything like that, but do you foresee that rock being reusable?
You mean the concrete?
Concrete, or I think there's a retaining wall, for example.
My expectation and understanding is that's all leaving the site, that it's not reusable.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Armistead. Right. And Councilmember Ray, just giving you another chance. Okay. Yeah.
So this is the GMP amendment number 2, the first amendment that had to be agreed to was the demo of the buildings and the remediation of the hazardous materials. So the total of these two amendments are just over 10 million, but they are true cost.
And Cecil, this is not a public hearing because it's just a contract, right?
No
So we just need someone to make a motion to approve.
approve the execution of the GMP. Authorize city manager.
I make a motion to approve the authorization for the city manager to go with the guaranteed maximum price amendment as stated.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? I'm going to call the roll. Councilmember Simmons,
Yes.
Councilmember Nasser,
Yes.
Councilmember Henshaw.
Yes.
Councilmember Evans, Councilmember Armistead. Great, motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The next item is basically just for your awareness of the next steps and what we have to do. As Gary mentioned, we're close to getting the guaranteed maximum pricing for the vertical. So now we're shifting from planning. We're fixing to be in an active construction site. Depending on the timing of that, it may be possible that we might have to have another special call meeting. Hopefully we get the pricing in. We look to have to do some value engineering. And then, depending on the timing, we can have it on an agenda, so we don't have to have a special call meeting. However, it is important that we act quickly, on this. Number one, it helps us to lock in our subs for the pricing, and we're not waiting. So it creates that final budget for us. So I just wanted everyone to be aware. Hopefully, we don't have to come back for another special call meeting, but just in the event we might need to, based on what we get from Choate on the pricing.
Chuck, can you talk through, or maybe Gary can weigh in, but like, what do you think the process will be? Because we heard that we should be getting the pricing back maybe sometime this week, so council can review it. But then I think there's going to be a discussion about what do we want to cut or change to try to get to our budgeted price. And I think that's where the challenge is going to be. So I don't know, Gary, you're standing up, so.
We do know that we expanded the chambers. We've made some additions to the project. We took some things out in the last value management log to get to pricing. We anticipate there will be above budget. And so we'll go through, and this is normal in the course of business at construction, to go through and line item by line item, determine where the opportunities to save that don't compromise quality, look, and feel. It's a bit of a compromise, but I do anticipate we'll be coming back. The key on timing is the quicker we agree to these elements now, the quicker that Choate can not only confirm with its contractors, but start ordering materials. It's the materials ordering that can really back this up. Give you an idea, furniture can go 9-10 months. So we're going to have to jump through some hoops quicker than the last time, but we're going to have a definitive line item by line item analysis. Come back to council, we'll have a chance to review that, and hopefully that'll dovetail into a regular meeting.
When do you think, so you guys are getting that pricing back. You're going to go through it first and then get it to council. So when do you think, how long do you think it'll take for council to see that?
Less than 2 weeks from today, maybe a week and a half. I think that what's going to happen is we're going to get a preview of it in the next couple days. We'll then have them refine it. The construction management group, Diversified, will be looking at it as well. The architect will be looking at it, the landscape architect. We're going to put together a list. And so I anticipate it could be a week to 10 days that we have something in y'all's hands to start thinking through, here's how we get to where we need to be. And it's all hands on deck.
Well, I guess I would say 10 days is our next council meeting, you know, if we're able to make it happen, if we were able to get a presentation on that day, like just kind of preliminary, let council go home, you know, for the week, think about it, talk to each other about things, and then come back the following week, that would be ideal. But, you know, I get that, you know, things might not work out to the ideal, but if we were trying to work towards something, that to me would be a good thing for us to work towards.
Goal is to get this in y'all's hands as quick.
And so, Chuck, I guess I just say that, that's something that I think we should be focused on and for for next week's agenda, trying to have a conversation about that. But if it's not ready, we'll have to, you know, delay it or whatever. Councilmember Nasser, do you have any questions?
I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Councilmember Simmons?
Not really, other than you said furniture and all, FF&E, we're handling that, right? I mean, I understand it's part of the budget. We need to know their numbers so we know what to spend and all that stuff, but we're handling that internally or something like that, right? Not the general contractor? Okay.
And we're actually working, organizing some meetings on that. So yes.
All right, I just made sure. I was like, no, I don't want them to handle that.
Mostly with MPS on.
Yeah, the architect and us, yeah.
Me, it's one big project.
Yeah, no, because I meant, yeah, you put an architect on something and it's very pricey, so.
But we need to know what all the pricing is. So it's sort of,
No,
yeah.
perfect. All right, thanks.
okay, Councilmember Henshaw.
Yeah, we aim for the sky, and sometimes you got to peel back a layer. But I know I'm going to keep coming back to the same point, and that's you know, in my years of experience, you know, you build the project that you want, and you kind of find a way to pay for it. And that's not to say we can't eliminate some things from the budget as we move forward. We're going to have to, but I also think the city needs to be open-minded about increasing the budget in small manners here and there to get what we want. There are certain things that we can always buy cheap furniture, or we can, you know, put in cheaper carpets, but you know, not putting in certain features in a building that you can't go back and do later. Every time people make decisions like that, they wind up regretting them, and it's just and I don't know why I don't know why that is. Just like the psychology of you see what you want, and then you don't get what you want, and then you regret not pulling the trigger on it. But we're getting a lot of building and a lot of site development for the money. You look at what Chamblee spent 18 million on their building 9-10 years ago. Brookhaven just spent 80 million plus on their building, and we're getting an entire site development plus a building plus a library. So I'm proud of where we're at, unless the budget comes in 40% over budget, you know, obviously, you know, but maybe it's just me. I hate value engineering. I hate seeing visions get
The architect in you.
yeah, I just getting the rug pulled out from underneath you is always painful, but I understand the necessity of it, and but I warn people that I'll be the one up here defending the bigger, better, prettier thing, simply because I've never had a client that doesn't regret not paying that little bit extra for the bigger, better, prettier thing a year or two down the road, and they come back and they add it later, and it costs them twice as much money, and it's always an exercise in frustration. But anyway, I'm looking forward to it. Happy to have the special called meetings. I don't mind doing that. I just didn't want to have to come in every other day for budget changes. So that's it. Thank you.
Councilmember Evans?
No, I concur. I was just gonna add and ask, does this include the site plans for the jukeboxes as well? With the city's, as far as the foundation, or is it being left?
Jewel box, you mean the restaurants?
Yes.
So the foundation walls that are part of this project will be holding up pads and the hardscape around the pad sites for the restaurants.
Yeah.
So that's part and parcel to this development and if we move quick enough, then there might be some savings off of these numbers to go directly to permanent walls versus temporary walls. But yes.
Great. Thank you.
Councilmember Armstead? All right. Well, I guess we will hopefully talk about this again next week, right? All right. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Do you have a second? Second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, meeting adjourned.